Imagine this: a 5-year-old girl huddled with her little brother in a freezing Ohio shelter. No home, no parents, no future in sight. Yet she rises to become a millionaire entrepreneur, proving the American dream is real for those who fight for it. How does someone go from scraping by on gas station wages to owning a bakery empire? This is the true motivational story of Sarah Thompson, a woman who never stopped fighting. Her journey from the Rust Belt streets of Youngstown to the sweet success of Sarah's hearth will inspire you to dream big and keep pushing, no matter the odds. Buckle up. This tale of grit and glory starts right now. Sarah Thompson was born in 1985 inches, Youngstown, Ohio, a once thriving steel town, now choked by unemployment and decay. The mills that built the city had shut down, leaving families like hers in the dust. Her father, a laid-off factory worker, drowned his sorrows in cheap beer, while her mother juggled shifts at a greasy diner, barely making ends meet. Their cramped duplex smelled of stale cigarettes and unwashed dreams. By age 12, Sarah watched her parents' marriage implode. Her dad packed up and left. Her mom spiraled into alcoholism, turning their home into a battlefield of shouts and shattered bottles. At 15, the bottom fell out. One bitter January night in 2000, Sarah came home from school to find her mother gone. A scribbled note on the kitchen table read, "I can't anymore." The landlord, fed up with months of unpaid rent, evicted them the next day. Sarah and her 10-year-old brother, Tommy, grabbed what they could stuff into a duffel bag and headed to the local homeless shelter. The place was a nightmare. Thin mattresses on cold floors, the constant hum of despair from strangers sharing their space. Sarah felt the weight of the world crash down. "I was just a kid," she later recalled. "But suddenly, I was Tommy's everything: mom, dad, protector." Hiding her reality from classmates was exhausting. She'd slip into school, early to wash up in the bathroom sink, pretending everything was fine, while her stomach growled from skipped meals. The stigma burned. Whispers of that poor girl made her cheeks flush with shame. But deep inside, a spark flickered. Sarah promised Tommy, as they lay awake in the dark, "We're not staying here forever. I'll get us out." It was a vow born of desperation, but it ignited something unbreakable in her, a refusal to let circumstances define them. In America, she thought, anyone can rise if they hustle hard enough. Little did she know, the real battles were just beginning. The challenges hit Sarah like a freight train. First came the grind of survival. At 16, she landed a part-time job at a gas station, pumping fuel in the biting cold for minimum wage $5.15 an hour. Her shifts stretched from after school until midnight, leaving her bone-tired but determined. The money bought basics: canned soup, thrift store clothes for Tommy, and bus fares to keep him in school. But the shelter's rules were strict: no long-term stays, and they bounced between temporary spots, sometimes crashing on a distant cousin's couch. Sarah learned to navigate the system, applying for food stamps, begging for extensions, all while hiding her tears from Tommy. "I couldn't let him see me break," she said. "He needed me strong." Then came the gut-wrenching blow with Tommy. At 14, he started skipping school, falling in with a crowd of older kids who offered escape through pills and booze. One night, Sarah's shift ended late, and Tommy didn't come home. Panic surged as she scoured the streets, flashlight in hand, calling his name into the void. She found him slumped in an alley, eyes glassy, barely responsive. "It was my worst fear," she admitted. "I'd failed him." Rushing him to the ER, she held his hand through the detox, whispering apologies and promises. The doctors warned her relapse was likely without help. Sarah got him into a free youth program, but the emotional toll was immense. She felt isolated, judged by social workers who saw her as just another statistic. "Why us?" she cried alone in the shelter bathroom. "Haven't we suffered enough?" The third conflict was societal rejection. Applying for scholarships felt futile. Her grades were solid, but her story screamed risk. Teachers pitied her but offered little real aid. When she confided in a friend, the gossip spread, and suddenly invitations dried up. They looked at me like I was contagious, Sarah remembered. Even job interviews turned sour. One manager laughed off her resume, saying, "Kid, you got too much baggage." The world seemed stacked against her, whispering that girls like her didn't make it out. Doubt crept in, maybe this was her fate, trapped in Youngstown's cycle of poverty. But each rejection fueled a quiet rage. I wasn't going to let them win, she vowed. The question hung in the air. Could she break free, or would the weight crush her spirit? Sarah's journey of effort was a marathon of blood, sweat, and unyielding grit. She started small, enrolling in high school night classes to boost her GPA while working double shifts. Sleep became a luxury, 4 hours a night, top studying under flickering shelter lights with Tommy snoring beside her. "Every page I turned was a step forward," she said. Miss Carter, her guidance counselor, spotted her potential during a routine check-in. "You're not just surviving, Sarah," Miss Carter told her. "You're thriving. Keep pushing." Those words became her lifeline. Miss Carter helped with applications, tutoring sessions after hours, and even slipping her extra snacks. Graduation in 2003 was a milestone, but college loomed impossible. Ohio State offered a partial scholarship, yet tuition gaps and Tommy's needs pulled her back. Sarah took the leap anyway, enrolling part-time while juggling jobs. Barista at a coffee shop by day, hospital cleaner by night. Her routine was brutal: up at 5 a.m. for classes, work until 10 p.m., then homework until her eyes burned. "I lived on coffee and determination," she laughed later. Failures peppered the path. One semester, Tommy relapsed, forcing Sarah to drop classes to nurse him through withdrawal. She sat by his bed in the free clinic, holding his hand as he shook, whispering, "We're in this together. Don't give up on me." Heartbroken, she nearly quit school, staring at her reflection in a cracked mirror, wondering if it was all for nothing. But she rose each time. Re-enrolling the next term, Sarah dove into business courses, discovering entrepreneurship. A professor's lecture on self-made moguls lit a fire. Stories of people starting with nothing, building empires. That could be me, she thought. She began experimenting, baking cookies from her grandmother's old recipes in the shelter kitchen, selling them to coworkers for extra cash. The first batch burned, a smoky disaster. But the second? Golden. 50 cookies sold in a week, she recalled proudly. It was her first taste of possibility. She saved every penny, stashing tips in a jar labeled, "Our Future." Over 200 hours of library research followed. Books on small business, marketing basics, even free online tutorials sneaked during breaks. Tommy's recovery added fuel. Clean for 6 months, he started helping washing dishes at her job, boosting her morale. Sarah tracked her progress. 50 job applications rejected before landing a bakery apprenticeship post-graduation in 2008. There, she honed skills, rising at 3 a.m. to knead dough, learning the art of cinnamon rolls that would become her signature. "I failed 20 recipes before nailing it," she admitted. Challenged by skeptics, suppliers who doubted a young woman with no backing, she networked relentlessly, attending free community events, pitching her vision. Each setback was a lesson. A bad batch taught precision. A slow day built resilience. "Dream big, but grind harder," became her mantra. Through it all, Sarah's efforts weren't just for her, they were for Tommy, for every kid like them. And slowly, the pieces aligned. The turning point came in 2010, a make-or-break moment that redefined Sarah's path. At 25, fresh from her bakery job, she stared at her savings. $10,000 scraped together from years of scrimping. Tommy, now 20 and stable as a mechanic apprentice, encouraged her. "Sis, you've fought for us, now fight for your dream." Inspired by her grandmother's warm kitchen memories, the one oasis in her chaotic childhood, Sarah decided to launch Sarah's Hearth. It wasn't just a bakery. It was a symbol of home, hope, and second chances. Signing the loan papers, Her hands trembled. What if I fail? She thought, visions of bankruptcy flashing. But a shift in mindset hit. I've survived worse. This is my shot at the American dream. She leased a tiny storefront in Columbus, pouring her soul into it. The name evoked hearth's warmth, a counter to her cold shelter nights. Opening day was nerve-wracking, rain poured, customers trickled, but her cinnamon rolls sold out by noon. That first success was the key. It unlocked confidence, proving her ideas had legs. This wasn't luck, she said. It was the culmination of every no turning into yes. From there, the road opened wide, leading to transformations she never imagined. Sarah's transformation was nothing short of miraculous. From that humble start, Sarah's hearth exploded. The first year was rocky, barely breaking even, battling suppliers who hiked prices on a newbie. But Sarah innovated. Free coffee for first responders drew crowds. Community bake sales built loyalty. By 2012, word spread and a second location opened. Revenue climbed from $0 to $500,000 annually. People came for the pastries but stayed for the story, she noted. Her rolls, infused with love and legacy, became a hit, soft, spicy, evoking home. By 2015, 3 stores hummed across Ohio, employing 50 people, many single moms, and recovering addicts like Tommy once was. Sarah paid it forward, offering training programs and flexible shifts. Media caught on. A local news feature went viral, landing her on national television. From homeless to hearth owner, the headline read. Expansion accelerated in 2020 amid a pandemic pivot to online orders. She franchised to 12 locations, hitting millionaire status. Numbers told the tale. Over 200 employees, millions in sales, a house for her and Tommy in the suburbs. Emotionally, the shift was profound. Sarah stood tall, no longer the ashamed teen, now a speaker at conferences, sharing her saga. Tommy, inspired, mentored at-risk youth, breaking his own cycle. She saved me, he beamed. Gratitude overflowed, for Miss Carter, for every struggle that forged her. I feel alive, Sarah said, like I've claimed my piece of the American pie. Her success wasn't just financial, it was a beacon, proving anyone can rise. From Sarah's epic journey, 3 key lessons emerge that you can apply today. First, embrace hardship as your teacher. Every failure Sarah faced built her strength, turning pain into power. Second, dream big but start small. Her $10,000 loan sparked an empire, showing one step leads to miles. Third, lift others as you climb by hiring the overlooked. Sarah multiplied her impact, creating a ripple of hope. These aren't abstract, they're actionable. You can begin right now, identify your challenge, take that first gritty step. So, what's your fight? Don't wait for perfect conditions, keep pushing like Sarah did. Dream big, America. Your story starts today. Comment day 1 below if this is your spark. Share your own battles, and let's inspire each other. Subscribe for more motivational life stories that prove the American dream is alive. Remember, you were born to battle and win. Never stop fighting.